This computer. All right, welcome back. We are into Club Connect intro module number 2, and this one is designed for the personal trainer platform. So for those of you where you're just jumping on for our first little intro call here, Club Connect is a really awesome platform because it's a place where you can get free education, free CECs. And when we look at all the information that's available out there, what's really cool about Club Connect is everything on here is evidence-based, peer-reviewed, and it falls inside of our scope of practice as a personal trainer. So that becomes really important because there's lots of really great information out there, but especially in things like nutrition and manual manipulations, there's things that we're not allowed to do as trainers. So as much as they're cool techniques, I think it's really important to learn from inside of our scope. There's lots and lots of things we can do. And one of the number one things that sort of defines that for me is as a trainer, I can teach my client things that allow them to manage their own nutrition, manage their own warm-ups, manage their own corrective exercise, manage their own mobility. And that's really going to be the key difference. So where we're providing evidence-based resources and where we're using coaching that draws from behavioral change and behavioral coaching science, when we use those tools with our clients, we're staying inside of our scope and we're also empowering them to do the things that are going to help them get results and then maintain those results in the long term. So learning from a platform like this is going to make it really easy for you to know that everything you're learning is something you can apply inside of the scope of your work. Mark, I'm going to kick it over to you for a second. Why do we even have Club Connect? It's an expense for us as an organization. Why did we want to have this tool available for our fitness team?
Well, I mean, education is the foundation for success for new personal trainers. When you get into a career as a personal trainer, you really begin to understand all the things that you really need to skill up on. And, Club Connect is a good resource, and, it's going to be something that's a very valuable tool for the team to really kind of accelerate their careers.
Awesome. Kelsey, as a former trainer, as a club manager, as someone involved with education and onboarding, what would your recommendation be for a new trainer in terms of how to start using this tool? Obviously, there's some internal onboarding that gets done when a trainer first joins our team. So at what point are you going to recommend heading to Club Connect and starting to move through that content? And how do you think that should show up, let's say, across a week or a month? How would you recommend your trainers get involved with this platform?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to say right away, but I know that beginning month, getting into the club and getting a couple like goal sessions under your belt, you're going to start to learn where you're most passionate about, where you really want to see yourself start to specialize as a personal trainer as well. So I'd say like within your first 30 days or close to the end of your 30 days, I would recommend definitely starting to get into Club Connect to start closing some of those gaps that you're finding like in your own business. For example, some personal trainers are super passionate about rehabilitation. Some are super passionate about nutrition. You're going to find those after those first few goal sessions on like what you really, really love to do. But don't shy away from your weaknesses for sure. So make sure that you're really well-rounded, especially at the beginning of your career. That's going to make sure that you can work with every single client.
Awesome. And I would just sort of throw my own recommendation in on that. Especially when we're new, schedule is a little bit all over the place. You might have an early session and then a break and then a couple clients or non-session hour. So one of the best things that you can do to sort of get into the habit of continuing education is actually put it in your schedule. So if it's a block of time, you can always move it if a client wants that spot, but really just kind of get into the habit of spending dedicated, focused time continuing with your learning. If you have the ability to do so, I would say that even an hour a day is not a bad idea, because you can be working on courses that are a little bit longer. You can be working on different courses at the same time, and really just getting into the habit of focusing on building your knowledge base, building your ability to communicate, and building out your toolbox. Especially if you get that into your schedule when you're new, it's going to be a habit that carries forward into your career. And if you think about it, if you spent even an hour 3 times a week, 3 hours a week, that would be 150 hours of continuing education in your first year. Here's the crazy part. If you have 150 hours of dedicated learning in your first year, there's actually not a lot of personal trainers out there that are going to know more than you do from a knowledge perspective. And when we're talking to clients, when we're talking to members, when we're building social media content, if we're building and communicating from a place of knowledge, we're going to really be able to set ourselves apart as an expert or as a really knowledgeable resource. And sometimes that can close the gap on no or no, not yet, to yes, now, because we've been able to build value as we build relationships. So that being said, we're going to jump into the platform and take a look at how to use it. So when you join the team, your FM has the ability to create an account for you. There's a video for managers to have a resource on learning how to do that. What you're going to get is a link in your email. So for example, Kelsey is going to send her trainer an email link. That link takes you to a page where you can create your password. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you take the link in your email and click on it, it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. What you get to do then is type your password. You're going to agree to the terms and conditions, which are largely that you're going to use this knowledge inside your scope of practice. And then you'll be able to create your account. Oops, it needs a camera. Let's try that. All right, there we go. So once you've created your account, it takes you right into your dashboard. And then in the future, if you want to log into Club Connect, you can't use the link your FM sent you in the first place. That's going to take you to this repeating circular login page. From this point, what you would want to do, your URL is going to be fitnessworld.clubconnect.com/login. So great idea to bookmark that so you could access it really easily. Okay. On your dashboard, you're going to see a couple of things. You're going to see your education score, which is an indication of how many courses you've completed inside of Club Connect. You're going to see a place where you can record your certifications and trainings. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. You're going to be able to add your CPT and you're going to be able to add certifications that you've done outside of Club Connect in this place. Then you're going to see a list of the courses that you're currently working on. So in progress shows you what you're working on versus complete will show you the ones that you finished. And you're actually going to see an education leaderboard in your club. So kind of fun to think about what it takes to get to the top of the board in your club in terms of education. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is look at how do I add a certification? So if I click on this here, it's going to take me to a place where I can look up all the different types of certifications that I add. So you'll notice you can add your degree, you can add your CPR. In this case, let's take a look at adding a credential. Now, sometimes you'll be able to search. So for example, let's say I've completed the NASM certification. I'm going to be able to search from a list. And let's say I've completed corrective exercise. You can fill out the certification number from your cert. You can fill out your information. And then by hitting verify, what's going to happen is they're actually going to verify that certification number. And once they find it, it takes a little bit of time because there's some people on the back end on the admin side that have to go through that. But once it's verified, you're going to notice that it adds to your CECs. Okay. If you're adding something that probably isn't in the list, like for example, like I want to add, say, my kettlebell certification. I've got one that's internal here. You'll notice that somatic senses kettlebell science doesn't show up here. In that case, what I recommend that you do is keep a digital copy of that. So maybe store it in your email, maybe store it in your Google Drive, but keep a digital copy of that because you're still going to be able to submit external certifications to your CPT certification body for approval. So where this one will allow you to connect ones that are recognized, pre-approved, they have approved vendors. I also recommend that you keep those other ones because you can in fact submit those for CECs. Okay. So that might be worth a day in terms of gathering what you've already completed. And then the next thing we would do is go and look at courses. So the ones that you want to look for, if you go to courses, for example, I'm going to show you how to register for the Lift Level 1 course because everybody will do that in order to complete that program. If you search for it, you'll notice it comes up. It allows you to enroll for the course. There we go. And then if I actually had finished Lift Level 1 and I wanted to move through to taking the exam, I would go to next step. And then it's going to bring up the exam for me to complete. So at this time, the only module associated with the LIFT Level 1 exam is this exam. In the future, we may have some pre-course learning or some post-course learning resources. So similar to this training video, there might be some things that get added. So this will now be the resource where if you want to watch the FMA video, it's always going to be sitting there inside of that LIFT Level 1 course. Okay. So basically what you need to do is sign in, sign up for courses, and be able to sort of look at a list of what you've been going through. And these will always be places that you can come back to review content or maybe download templates or whatever. So Kelsey, Mark, any questions on the trainer platform? Is there anything you think I missed?
Yes.
So pitter patter, let's get at her. Go ahead and get into the courses that you're interested in, filling your gaps, learning new things. And what I would suggest is, because there's so much content, if you take a course and you really love it and you think it's really helpful, share that information with your teammates, share that information with your FMs. This is still a somewhat new platform for us. We definitely haven't taken all the courses in there. So if you find one that was really great, share it with your peers. And if you find one that maybe wasn't quite as worth it, then you can sort of also share that so that we start getting really good at finding the content that's going to be the most successful. For FMs that have been around for a little while, there was a list of about 10 that I sent out based on courses that I found really, really valuable. But for you as an FM, for you as a trainer, based on how you do your business, if you're sharing courses that you think are really valuable, I think that can really help our teammates. So last thing that I'm going to show you here is just kind of an example of what a screen looks like for someone that's actually been moving through content. So for example, this trainer has completed a bunch of courses. You notice that on their dashboard, they're leveling up. So this individual really close to that scholar level, and you can see they've logged some of their certifications. So their NASM CPT. Here's the really cool part. It shows us the expiration. Now, the reason that's important is typically your CPT is going to need to be recertified every 2 years. And in the case of NASM, ACE, CanFit Pro, a lot of the certs that we recognize as preferred partners, you're going to need 20 CECs or 2.0 CEUs every 2 years in order to recertify. So putting the certification on your dashboard is a really easy place for you to remember and track when it is that you need to submit for your recertification. And if you do it early or on time, the fee to recertify is smaller. If you let it expire, you have to pay a much bigger fee to catch up. And we want to sort of get into that lifestyle of continuous education instead of, oh, shoot, I'm about to expire, I have to scramble and get a bunch of work done. We rather see sort of incremental learning over time. So by logging that certification on your dashboard, it helps sort of keep it top of mind around when you're going to have to prepare that paperwork in order to maintain active certification. So congratulations to this trainer doing a great job on education. We want to see lots more people taking advantage of this resource in order to learn more, level up, and be able to deliver better service to your clients. So that's going to wrap up the training for the trainer platform here on Club Connect. If you have any questions, your fitness manager is going to be the first go-to. And if there's any problems with accessing your account or logging certifications that your fitness manager doesn't know how to solve, then they'll be able to kick the information up to the three of us so that we can manage it from the admin level. So thanks for jumping on, team. Get on to Club Connect, share your favorite courses, and let's go change some lives.